Hey guys, Tim here with Apache Solutions. Got a video for you guys today regarding some gun safety and gun etiquette issues that I've been seeing plaguing the internet lately. And I'm not here, first things first, I'm not here to bash on anybody or anything like that. I'm actually trying to do quite the opposite and try to encourage folks not to necessarily be unsafe or anything like that, but to seek out better ways to make videos such as these and continue to educate and encourage others to support our Second Amendment rights and that sort of thing. So these videos that we've been that I'm talking about, that I'm referring to, you're going to find all over the internet. I mean, you look on YouTube, you're going to find plenty of displays of improper gun etiquette and gun safety and plenty of hazards and that sort of thing. Again, all over the internet, all over InstaFace and that sort of thing. So there are plenty of them out there that you can review. I've just chosen one that really stands out to me because it kind of depicts exactly what I'm trying to fix here. So yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at the video.
A little bit better side picture, and this is easier to grab. And then if you go and spend the extra to get the extended magazine, that holds in my hand just really nicely. That's good. I mean, this is basically my wife's pistol, but I can shoot it. I can feel comfortable in shooting it, and it definitely has better sights.
All right, so as you can tell, that was this gentleman pretty well broke every firearm safety rule written in any book that you can find, and he was simply trying to convey something to an audience and discuss the specific firearm. Now, I am not condoning this behavior whatsoever. This is most definitely a prime example of what not to do with the handgun. What point I really want to bring across is this guy simply doesn't know any better. He might have just not been taught correctly. He might not have been taught at all. He's self-taught, YouTube taught, whatever. And he was blasted all over the internet. I mean, this video got torn into 25 different flavors, and a ton of different memes and other funny videos and that sort of thing. And so I really want to ask you, what's the goal here? Is your goal to just simply make fun of this guy, or is your goal to actually change something? Because the internet's full of a lot of this bashing on folks and throwing punches and that sort of thing, and there's really nothing productive that comes from that. Rather than providing some type of solution to help guide somebody like this onto the appropriate direction. So I'm going to take my best shot at trying to replicate the video and demonstrate exactly what this guy was trying to convey, so that you can kind of get a general idea of what you can do better to build videos like this. The firearm that he was using, I don't have that here. I've got a Glock 43. It's a small handgun, so I'm just going to try and cut around the edges a little bit so you can see exactly what he was trying to do. So I have an unloaded firearm here. It's in a case. I'm going to bring it out. First thing that you should do is acknowledge to the audience that you have an unloaded firearm. Now, I understand that it's kind of like an unspoken rule anymore that when trainers and gun review guys and stuff like that on YouTube, they tend to get annoyed by saying, yes, the firearm is unloaded, because they're talking to a camera with a sufficient backstop behind it and that sort of thing. Yeah, it does kind of get annoying. However, pause for effect, it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary, because you're not necessarily just speaking to this camera. We're speaking to everyone that is watching this video, and it could be 10 viewers, it could be 10 million viewers, who knows, right? So the point is we don't want anyone in our audience to take out of context what we are trying to say, or end up hurting themselves or somebody else, or absolutely making fool out of themselves on the internet. We don't want that, because it puts it makes a black eye for the gun community, right? So I'm going to bring this handgun out and show this to you. The firearm is unloaded. There is no magazine inserted. There is no round in the chamber. Now, the first thing that we noticed when we were watching the video was the gentleman was simply trying to show you the sights, right? That's all he was trying to do. And the more appropriate way to do something like that is to just simply remove the slide and show the camera the angle. This is an angle that is not really easily reproduced unless you do something like this, like take the gun apart, in terms of displaying simple gun safety and that sort of thing. So being able to remove the slide from your handgun in a safe manner and demonstrating that, it gets the point across to the viewers, right? Without having to worry about flagging myself or somebody else or something along those lines. You should probably ask yourself this question now if you're thinking about doing any type of gear review, gun review, or anything like that. If you cannot simply remove the slide from your handgun, should you be doing a review on the handgun? I'm not trying to suggest that you shouldn't do the review on the handgun. You should simply do your homework. If you don't know how to remove the slide on the handgun, learn. If you don't know how to manipulate a handgun safely, learn. It is really that simple. Stop telling yourself that you do know, and go and find out whether or not you actually do. One of the most important things about training is standards, right? If you have not measured your knowledge or your skill sets, if you have nothing to compare that to, other than watching a few YouTube videos or growing up around firearms, or my buddy was in the Army and he taught me, my dad was in the Army, he taught me, or whatever, if that's all you have for yourself, that's not enough. That's not going to suffice, and it's likely to produce this type of behavior. So you must find some individual metrics and standards to hold yourself to, even in the regard of gun safety, right? So getting back on topic, he was also talking about the frame of the handgun, the grip size, and that sort of thing. He was talking about magazines. Notice there's no ammunition in there. Even if it were, there's absolutely no way that this gun can go bang, right? Or this frame can go bang, right? And with this, I have the capability of moving this thing around all over the place and not have to worry about flagging anybody or hurting someone or something like that. There's absolutely no way that this thing can go bang. So I've rendered the gun absolutely useless other than for demonstration, which is what we're trying to do here, right? So if you're trying to convey something about the frame of the handgun or the slide, isolate those individual pieces of the firearm so that you don't end up flagging yourself or hurting yourself or something along those lines, right? Let's talk a little bit about, bring it back a little bit about the effective communication, right? If all our goal is to absolutely break somebody down and make them never want to be a part of the gun community again, then start making memes and posting garbage comments and stuff like that, and continue being useless on the internet. That's if that is your goal. But if you actually want to make a difference in our community, send the guy a private message or something like that and say, hey man, this is probably not the route you want to go. This may be unsafe. And if they get defensive, man, that's on them. That's on them. Then whatever happens after that, happens after that. However, if your first thing is to start throwing stuff at this person and bashing on and that sort of thing, it's not really setting a good example for the gun community, right? It turns people away. It makes people defensive. It makes them make crap up in their head so that they actually believe that they're right. And that's kind of a problem that's in our Second Amendment community, if you will, right? So if you want to actually make a difference and make a change and not give the opposing side a whole bunch of cannon fodder to use against us, start educating properly, hold yourself accountable, and hold each other accountable, but do so in a professional way. If you want people to take you as a professional, then start acting professionally. That's probably the best way to get that type of result. The last thing I want to leave you with, I used to say something along the lines of, or I have been known to say something along the lines of, there's a difference between a gun salesman and a gunslinger. The gun salesman, his job is to simply sell you a firearm and make that sale, right? Whereas a gunslinger may actually know what he's talking about. That's not to suggest that the gun salesman or that all gun salesmen don't know what they're talking about in terms of firearms use. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm suggesting is that the training junkie, the gunslinger, whatever you want to call him, the guy that's actively educated himself on the subject matter, does tend to know more about the firearm and about different applications for that firearm than the person behind the counter that's simply just trying to make a sale. So if you are that person behind the counter that's simply just trying to make a sale, this isn't a bash on you, man. This is simply a friendly piece of advice. Go seek out some training. Ask some friends, something along those lines. But certainly don't post up pictures or videos of you pointing guns at your friends or pointing guns at yourself or something like that on the internet, because it's not just affecting you. This stuff is coming back on our Second Amendment rights. It's making a bad image for us. So hold yourself accountable. Be honest with yourself. If you really don't know any better, then go learn. It's really that simple. There are way too many right now. The nation is heavily populated with extremely articulate individuals and extremely talented instructors that can help you with something as simple as breaking down a handgun and using it to demonstrate, right? Or to give you ideas. A lot of them would I would argue would offer some advice for free just to keep you from showing up online and making an absolute fool out of yourself. So I could name just a handful right now. If you emailed us, if you sent us a text message or a email or something along those lines and asked us, I wouldn't charge you a dime to try and help you out. I bet you if you reached out to Scotty Cronin of Gunset, if you reached out to Ken Hauer of Green Mountain Defense, John Murphy of FPF Training, Citizen Safety Academy, if you reach out to Rangemaster, anybody with a Rangemaster instructor certification, you reach out to any of them. There's a bunch of them. Reach out to any of those guys, and I'm positive they would be more than happy to help you out. So don't use the excuse that I've been around guns my whole life. I've been shooting my whole life. My grandpa taught me. My dad taught me. I'm an avid hunter. Whatever. Don't use that as an excuse. Actually get educated on the subject matter before you start trying to produce content that widely affects our gun rights. So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you out here.